Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra 2 Unit 5.6 Notes, Day 1. Today we're going to be talking about characteristics of polynomial functions. Our learning target today is to be able to identify the degree, max number of terms, left and right end behavior of polynomial functions. So, before we jump in, let's remember a couple of things about these keywords up here. If we are talking about the word linear, that means that my highest variable exponent is 1. And normally we don't write the 1. Normally we'll just have an x, okay? If something is quadratic, that means my highest variable is going to be squared. If something is cubic, the highest exponent on my variable, if I can draw an x with my pen, that would be wonderful. And if I could draw a 3, that would be great too, is cubed. And then if something is quartic, it's to the 4th power. Now, that hopefully is a good reminder for you. Or some of you might be like, Mr. Grice, I already know that. And here are examples of tons of different graphs. Okay, now we have a linear. Then we've got a nice little quadratic. And then once again, well, not once again, but then our next one is cubic. And then after cubic is quartic. Now, it's linear because there is only an x. A couple things that I want you to notice about this behavior is how the two sides are in different areas. One's on the bottom, one's on the top, one's rising, one's falling. On a quadratic, okay, we've got one positive and one negative. They're both going up or they're both going down, the ends of my graph. Interesting. All right, cubic. Once again, I want you to see if one's going down, the other's going up, and if it's one's going up, the other is going down. And then the last one with a quartic to the 4th power, it's either they're both up or they are both down. Okay? Alrighty. So there was the other quartic and there was the other cubic. So we do have a lot of definitions today. So the first thing that I was talking about, how we were noticing the end behavior, what we do is the degree, we look at the highest exponent, okay, so the highest exponent of the function and the max number of zeros is determines, it determines the direction of the left end of the function. So if the degree is even, the left side will go in the same direction as the right side. And if you notice, all the ones that I did in blue, my quartic and my quadratic, well, 2 is a even number. 4 is a even number. Do you see how the ends were either both going up or both going down? Yeah. And then the exact opposite, if it is an odd number, it will go in the opposite direction on the right side. Our linears are odd. The left and right are opposite on the linear and the cubic functions. Now, the next thing, the max number of turns. The number of the number of times the function switches directions, rising versus falling, is one number less than the degree. Okay, so when you're looking at linear, 1 minus 1 is 0, so there are no terms. Quadratic, 2 minus 1 is 1, so there is 1 term. In a cubic, 3 minus 1 is 2, so you can see that there are 1, 2, 1, 2 terms. And then quartic, 4 minus 1 is 3, so there are 1, 2, 3 terms. 1, 2, 3 turns. 3 times it switches its direction. Okay? And the last thing that we can look at, we're going to be looking at the leading coefficient. The leading coefficient of the variable with the highest exponent determines the direction of the right end. Okay, that's very important, the right end of the function. Okay, because if it is positive, it rises. And if it's negative, it falls. Okay, so let's take a look at this. It was positive, so it is rising. It's negative, so you see how it is falling. I'm only looking at the right side. When it's positive, the right side is rising. When it's negative, the right side is falling. And you can see that on each one of these graphs. Here I am rising. Once again, the right side is rising. Here the left side or the right side is falling, negative, falling. Okay? Now I know it's a lot and lot of definitions to go through. Okay? So we just have to go back and forth, sorry, and double check everything. Okay? So the 3 things that we're going to look at first, we're going to identify the degree and the name of each function and the max number of zeros. So, you ready? Good, me too. So when we're looking at the degree, I'm just looking at the highest number, okay? And the highest number here is 2, which means it's going to be a quadratic, okay? So to find the max number of zeros, well, the max number of zeros of a quadratic is 2, okay? That's what the 2 stands for. Okay, so for our second one, don't just be like, oh, it's the first one, there we go. No. The degree is 4. 4 is called a quartic, and the max number of zeros are 4. Our h of x, it's a 3. That is a cubic function, and the max number of zeros are 3. Sorry, I'm going to go back. Those numbers just look weird to me. There we go. Now, determine the max number of terms of each function. So remember, to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the highest exponent, whatever the highest exponent is, and I'm going to subtract 1. Okay, highest exponent, subtract 1. All right, so there's my highest exponent, 2 minus 1. Well, 2 minus 1 is 1. I find the highest exponent, it's 4. 4 minus 1, 3. That is the max number of terms that guy can have. Okay? All right, and the last 2, our a of x and our b of x, describe the left. So I have to describe the left and the right end behavior of each function. So when I'm looking at the right end behavior, that's what the exponent, the highest exponent, is going to tell me. Okay, so for the right end behavior, we'll do that in blue. Okay, it's negative. So if it's negative, that means my right end behavior is going to fall. Okay. Now the left end behavior, we set it up here, the left end behavior determines if it's even or odd. Okay. So since it is even, sorry, we'll do this in a different color. So since my left end behavior is even, that's going to tell me it's going to be in the same direction. So if it's in the same direction, that means it's going to fall. Now our next one, our right end behavior, okay, it's positive. So if it's positive, it's going to be rising. And since it's cubic, it's going to be in the opposite because it is a odd number, and odd cubics do the opposite. So this is going to be falling. Okay, so it falls. And we didn't say rising, this is just rises. Sorry, my bad. Okay, now I know this is a lot to take in. So as you're doing your homework, flip back and forth, double check everything. And if you have any questions, come see Miss Carranza or myself. We would love to help you out. Okay? Otherwise, this is Mr. Grice signing off for Algebra 2, Unit 5.6 Notes, Day 1. Thanks for watching.